Introjection: life is loud. People are stressed. Everyone is running, chasing, worrying. But deep inside, every heart desires only one thing: peace. This book is for anyone who wants to breathe again, smile again, and live life with calmness and positivity. No matter what the world brings, staying calm and positive is not about ignoring problems. It is the art of controlling your inner world, even when your outer world feels chaotic. Some people shine in storms, some people break in small waves. The difference is not strength. The difference is mindset. This mini-book will guide you, step by step. Each chapter is simple, emotional, powerful, and practical. Let's begin your journey to a calmer, more positive life. Chapter 1: Understanding Your Mind. The first step to calmness and positivity life feels heavy. Not because problems are big, but because the mind becomes overwhelmed. Before you learn how to stay calm and positive, you must understand how your mind works, why it reacts the way it does, and how you can gently train it not by force, but through awareness and compassion. This chapter will help you understand your inner world, so you can start controlling your thoughts instead of letting your thoughts control you. The invisible storm inside you. The world outside, the world inside. We spend most of our time trying to fix the outside world, people, situations, problems, but we rarely look inside. Yet the inside world is what decides all you feel, how you react. But when your mind becomes chaotic, your inner world feels like a storm. Many people think stress comes from their boss, money issues, relationships, or workload. But stress actually comes from the mind's interpretation of these things. Two people can face the same situation. One breaks, one grows. Understanding your mind is the beginning of your transformation. The human mind is built for survival, not peace. Thousands of years ago, the biggest challenge was staying alive. Lions, wild animals, danger everywhere. The mind evolved to scan for threats. This system still exists today, but instead of lions, your modern threats are stress at work, comments on social media, fear of failure, financial pressure, relationship issues, people's opinions. Your mind reacts quickly, assuming everything is danger. This is why you overthink. You feel anxious suddenly. Your heart races. You get angry fast. You imagine worst-case scenarios. Your mind is trying to protect you, not hurt you. But the danger is not real, only imagined. Understanding this calms your fear. Your mind is not your enemy. It only needs training. Your thoughts shape your reality every second. Your mind produces thoughts around 60,000 to 70,000 thoughts per day. Most people believe thoughts are automatic and unchangeable. But the truth is, your thoughts are habits. Your thoughts are patterns. Your thoughts are learned. And something learned can always be unlearned. If you repeatedly think, I'm not good enough, nothing works for me, life is hard, your mind starts believing it. If you repeat, I can handle this, I grow through challenges, peace is my priority, your mind will believe that too. You become what you repeatedly think. This chapter is not just information, it is an awakening. You are the creator of your mental world. The mind and emotions are connected. Your thoughts create emotions. Your emotions shape your actions. Your actions build your life. If you think negatively, you feel negative. If you think positively, you feel positive. Simple idea, but powerful impact. For example, a small problem becomes huge because your mind magnified it. A small fear becomes anxiety because your mind believed it. A small mistake becomes shame because your mind repeated it. When you understand this connection, you don't get controlled by emotions. You don't get angry without awareness. You don't drown in sadness without realizing why. You start asking the right questions. What thought created this feeling? What story is my mind telling me? Is this real or imagined? Awareness gives you power. Without awareness, the mind becomes your master. With awareness, you become the master of your mind. The trap of overthinking is your mind trying to control what it cannot control. The more you try to solve something in your head, the more stuck you feel. Overthinking comes from your mind becomes like a spinning wheel, fast, but going nowhere. Overthinking steals your time. When you understand your mind, you no longer drown in thoughts. You learn when to stop. You learn when to release. You learn when to detach. Self-talk. The voice you hear every day. Every day your mind talks to you. Sometimes loud. Then you live in fear, pressure, stress, and self-doubt. If your inner voice is kind, take it slow. It's okay. You can try again. Then you live with calmness, confidence, and positivity. Your inner voice matters more than the world's voice. And here is the most important part. You can rewrite your inner voice. You can teach your mind new language. You can train it to encourage instead of criticize. You can teach it compassion instead of fear. Why your mind needs rest. It works all day. Thinking, worrying, planning, remembering, imagining. No break, no pause. When your mind becomes overloaded, you get irritated easily. Rest comes from silence, deep breathing. When it becomes calm, positivity enters naturally. 1, 2. The future. You imagine fears, what-ifs, overthinking possibilities. The mind hates the present moment because the present is silent. The present has no drama. The present has no danger. The present is peaceful. But peace feels unfamiliar. In the present, life becomes lighter. Problems shrink. Calmness grows. Positivity becomes natural. Awareness, the master key. When you observe your mind instead of reacting to it, you unlock a new life. When anger rises, you notice it instead of exploding. When fear appears, you breathe instead of panicking. When negativity comes, you challenge it instead of believing it. Awareness is the superpower that changes everything. But by understanding, by awareness, by training, by repetition, why it reacts, why it fears, why it overthinks. You cannot control what you do not know. A positive mind creates a positive life. Chapter 2. The power of slow breathing. Breathing is the only thing your body does every second without your permission. Yet it is the one thing that can change your mental state within moments. Many people think staying calm requires a perfect life, ideal conditions, or a stress-free environment. But calmness starts with something much simpler. Your breath. Slow breathing is not just inhale and exhale. It is a reset button for your mind, a medicine for your emotions, and a bridge that connects your body and soul. When life gets stressful, your breath changes immediately, faster. Sorter, unaben, tensa. You may not notice, but your body does. Your brain interprets this as danger and sends signals that increase anxiety, fear, and stress. This happens without your permission. But slow breathing gives you control again. It tells your brain, I am safe. I can handle this. And your entire system calms down. To understand the power of slow breathing, you must first understand how your breath affects your emotions and thoughts. Every emotion has a breathing pattern. When you are angry, your breath becomes sharp. When you are scared, your breath becomes fast. When you are sad, your breath becomes heavy. When you are calm, your breath becomes slow and deep. Your breathing influences your feelings just as much as your feelings influence your breathing. This means if you change your breath, you can change your mind. You have more control than you think. Slow breathing is the tool that brings your mind back into balance when it wanders into stress, anxiety, or When your breath slows, your heart slows. When your heart slows, your thoughts slow. When your thoughts slow, your emotions settle. This is why the simplest instruction for stress relief is just breathe. It's not just a phrase, it's a scientific truth. Your breath is connected to your nervous system. When you breathe quickly, you activate the fight-or-flight mode. This mode was designed for life-threatening situations thousands of years ago. Today, you activate it because of deadlines, arguments, social pressure, or worry. Slow breathing activates the opposite system, the rest and relax mode. This is the system responsible for peace, clarity, focus, and healing. You cannot feel calm if your breath is chaotic. You cannot feel positive if your breath is stressed. Breath is the first place where calmness begins. One of the most powerful slow breathing techniques is the 4 to 6 method. Inhale for 4 seconds. Hold for 2. Exhale for 6. Why does this work so well? Because the longer exhale signals to your brain that everything is okay. Your exhale is directly connected to relaxation. When your exhale becomes longer than your inhale, your body releases tension and your mind becomes grounded. This technique works in emotional moments too. When you feel anger rising, slow breathing can prevent harsh reactions. When fear or anxiety rises, slow breathing calms the shaking inside you. When sadness comes, slow breathing stabilizes your heart. When confusion comes, slow breathing clears your thoughts. Slow breathing makes you respond instead of react. Your reactions become calm. Your decisions become thoughtful. Your emotions become manageable. This is the power of breath. The mind often runs in many directions: past regrets, future fears, overthinking, imaginary problems. But the breath is always in the present. That is why breathing anchors you too now. When you focus on your breath, you pull your mind out of the past and future. You return to the moment where peace lives. Calmness cannot exist in yesterday or tomorrow. Calmness lives only in this moment, and slow breathing brings you here instantly. Many people underestimate breathing because it sounds too simple, but simple things are powerful when practiced consistently. Slow breathing is free. Slow breathing is available anywhere. Slow breathing does not require time, tools, or equipment. You can practice it during stress, during sadness, during panic, before sleep, after waking up, before exams, before meetings, during arguments, during overthinking, when you feel lost or overwhelmed. In all these moments, slow breathing can reset your entire mood in less than 1 minute. The mind listens to the body more than we realize. When your breath becomes calm, your mind believes you are calm. Even if your situation is stressful, slow breathing gives you the power to face it. Your breath becomes your companion, a silent friend that supports you anytime you need strength. Think about how children cry. When they cry intensely, their breathing becomes fast and shaky. But as soon as they take a deep breath, they start calming down. This is evidence that the body naturally uses breath to regulate emotion. Adults forget this natural gift. Stress, responsibilities, pressure, expectations, these block your natural connection with your breath, but you can rebuild that connection through practice. Start with 1 minute a day. Sit quietly. Place your hand on your chest or stomach. Inhale slowly. Exhale slower. Feel your own breath. Feel life entering and leaving your body. Feel your mind settling. Feel your heart becoming lighter. This 1 minute can change your entire day. With time, you won't need to force slow breathing. Your body will learn it. Your mind will adopt it. Slow breathing will become your automatic response to stress. Instead of panicking, you will breathe. Instead of exploding, you will breathe. Instead of overthinking, you will breathe. Instead of worrying, you will breathe. This is how calm people stay calm. They breathe with awareness. Slow breathing also improves physical health. It lowers blood pressure, reduces headaches, improves digestion, relaxes muscles, and helps you sleep deeply. It also improves your ability to stay present too. Enjoy your surroundings, relationships, and small moments in life. When you live with slow breath, you experience life with clarity. You feel things fully, but peacefully. You think clearly, but calmly. You move through life with strength, but softness. Slow breathing does not remove problems, but it gives you the strength to face them without losing peace. It helps you respond with wisdom instead of fear. It prepares your mind for positivity. You cannot think positively when stressed. You cannot feel grateful when anxious. You cannot stay hopeful when your mind is racing. Slow breathing slows the chaos. Then positivity enters naturally. It is like clearing clouds so the sunlight can enter. The sunlight was always there, just blocked. Calmness was always inside, you just hidden. Slow breathing removes that fog. It does not change who you are. It brings you back to who you truly are. Peaceful, strong, present, in control. You do not need a perfect life to feel calm. You need a calmer breath. You do not need a positive world to feel positive. You need a positive inner state. Slow breathing is where this transformation begins. It teaches you one of the greatest lessons. You may not control the world, but you can always control your breath. And when you control your breath, you control your mind. When you control your mind, you control your life. Chapter 3. Focus on what you can control. One of the biggest reasons people lose their calm and positivity is because they try to control things that are far beyond their reach. The human mind is naturally wired to interfere, predict, plan, fear, and imagine. It tries to manage outcomes, people, situations, and future events that it cannot influence. This creates frustration, stress, anxiety, and emotional exhaustion. The truth is simple, yet life-changing. Peace comes from focusing on what you can control and letting go of what you cannot. Once you understand this, half your mental struggles disappear. Imagine carrying a bag filled with rocks. Some rocks are yours, your choices, your habits, your actions, your responses. But most rocks inside the bag belong to other people's opinions, their emotions, their behavior, their decisions, their expectations, and situations you did not create. You carry all these rocks because you believe you must. You think you are responsible for everything. You think you must fix everything. But a peaceful life begins the moment you put down the rocks that belong to others. You cannot force people to understand you, respect you, stay loyal to you, treat you well, or even like you. You cannot force life to go your way all the time. You cannot control the past, and you cannot fully predict the future. Trying to control these only drains your energy. Calmness enters when you accept the difference between what is yours and what is not. One of the most powerful ideas in emotional well-being is the circle of control. Inside this circle are things you have full influence over: your thoughts, your choices, your reactions, your attitude, your daily habits. Everything outside this circle is beyond your direct influence: weather, traffic, other people's behavior, problems you did not create, and unexpected events. When you put your energy into things outside your circle, you feel powerless. You feel defeated. You feel stressed. You feel frustrated. But when you invest energy only inside your circle, you feel stronger, calmer, and more positive. You start living with clarity instead of chaos. For example, you cannot control how others speak to you, but you can control how you respond. You cannot control if someone hurts you, but you can control whether you forgive, move on, or hold on to pain. You cannot control someone's love or loyalty, but you can control yourself. You cannot control mistakes you made in the past, but you can control the lessons you take from them. You cannot control the outcome of every situation, but you can control the effort you put in. Understanding this separation frees you. Most negativity comes from trying to fix things that are not your responsibility. Many people lose their calm because they constantly fight reality. They wish people behaved differently. They wish circumstances were easier. They wish life followed their plan. But life does not operate according to wishes. Life unfolds as it must. You can resist reality and scatter your peace, or you can accept reality and protect your peace. Acceptance does not mean weakness. Acceptance means seeing things as they are, not as you want them to be. Acceptance gives clarity. Clarity brings calmness. Calmness gives you power. The moment you stop resisting the uncontrollable, your mind becomes lighter. For example, you cannot control the past. You cannot undo actions, undo words, undo mistakes, or undo pain. But you can control what you do with those memories. You can choose to grow instead of staying stuck. You can choose to rebuild yourself instead of breaking further. You can control your healing even if you could not control what hurt you. Similarly, you cannot control the future. You cannot predict every outcome, guarantee every plan, or avoid every challenge. You cannot stop life from surprising you, But you can control your preparation. You can control your mindset. You can control your resilience. You can control how you adapt when things change. Focusing on what you can control keeps your mind steady even when life is unpredictable. It gives you stability in uncertainty. It gives you confidence in chaos. Another common problem is trying to control how people perceive you. You want everyone to like you, understand you, appreciate you, speak well of you, and treat you fairly. But no matter how kind, honest, or generous you are, some people will misunderstand you. Some will dislike you without reason. Some will judge you without knowing your story. You cannot control their mind. You cannot control their opinions. You cannot control their maturity. But you can control your peace. You can control yourself. You can control how much power you allow others to have over your emotions. When you stop trying to control people's perception, life becomes peaceful. You stop explaining yourself to those committed to misunderstanding you. You stop chasing validation. You stop defending yourself to those who twist your words. You stop letting people's opinions steal your joy. You reclaim your calm. Focus on what you can control also means controlling your inner world. You can control your reaction to stress. You can control your response to anger. You can control your emotions through awareness. You can control your breath. You can control your focus. You can control your habits. You can control your discipline. You can control who you allow into your life. You can control your boundaries. When your inner world is under your control, the outer world cannot shake you easily. Calmness becomes your strength. Positivity becomes your habit. Emotional balance becomes your natural state. People who live peacefully are not people with peaceful lives. They are people who learn to stop fighting what they cannot control. They accept life. They adjust to situations. They detach from what is not meant for them. They release what brings stress. They hold on only to what matters. They protect their inner world with awareness. Another part of focusing on what you can control is understanding that expectations cause suffering. Expectations from people, relationships, outcomes, results. Timing these create pressure. The more expectations you have, the more disappointments you face. But when you reduce expectations and increase acceptance, your mind relaxes. You stay positive even when things don't go your way. You stay calm even when people act differently than you hoped. When you expect less and appreciate more, peace grows. To practice focusing on what you can control, ask yourself simple questions during stressful moments. Is this my responsibility? Is this in my control? Can I change this? Can I influence this? Is this worth my peace? These questions guide your mind. They help you drop unnecessary burdens. They help you respond instead of react. They help you choose peace. Another practice is shifting your attention. Instead of thinking about what you do not control, focus on what you can do right now. Small actions reduce stress. Small actions give clarity. Small actions give direction. For example, if you cannot control someone's behavior, you can control your distance. If you cannot control tomorrow, you can control your plan today. If you cannot control outcomes, you can control effort. If you cannot control how someone loves you, you can control how you love yourself. When you choose action over overthinking, calmness grows. Finally, understand this truth. Life is a mixture of control and surrender. Control what you can. Surrender what you cannot. This balance creates a peaceful life. Focusing on what you can control does not mean ignoring problems. It means addressing them wisely. It means choosing battles that matter. It means saving energy for things that deserve it. It means letting go of unnecessary mental weight. And most importantly, it means choosing your inner peace over the chaos of the world. When you master this principle, you unlock one of the greatest secrets of calmness and positivity. You cannot control everything, but you can always control yourself. And controlling yourself is where true power begins. Chapter 4. The power of letting go. Life becomes heavy, not because of what happens to us, but because of what we continue to carry long after the moment has passed. Every grudge, every regret, Every negative memory, every painful conversation stays packed inside us like stones in a backpack. We keep walking with that weight, wondering why life feels exhausting, why happiness feels distant, and why peace feels impossible. The truth is simple. Peace begins the moment you decide to let go. Letting go is not weakness. It is wisdom. It is not losing. It is choosing. It is choosing yourself, your mental stability, your emotional growth, and your inner freedom. Many people think letting go means forgetting, but it doesn't. Letting go means refusing to let the past control your present or your future. It means releasing the emotional attachment that keeps you stuck in circles. It means creating space for better things, better people, better moments to enter your life. Most importantly, letting go means taking your power back. Holding on to anger does not punish the person who hurt you, it punishes you. They may move on with their life. While you keep reliving a memory that no longer deserves to live inside you, why allow someone from your past to live rent-free in your mind? Why hand them the keys to your peace? When you hold on to bitterness, you give someone else control over your emotions. But when you let go, you take that control back. Letting go does not mean that what happened was okay. It simply means that you refuse to let the pain grow inside you any longer. You decide that your mental health is more important than replaying old wounds. You choose to heal instead of hurting. You choose peace over punishment. You choose freedom over emotional imprisonment. Letting go requires courage because it means stepping into the unknown. It means accepting that not everything has closure. Not every person apologizes. Not every story ends the way you wished. But that's life. Real strength is understanding that closure is an internal decision, not something you get from someone else. You close the chapter by choosing to move forward, even when you didn't get the explanation or apology you wanted. You grow by accepting that some people leave because their part in your story is over. You evolve by understanding that some things fall apart, so better things can fall into place. And you rise by realizing that letting go does not reduce you, it rebuilds you. Many emotional struggles come from attachment. Attachment to how things should have been. Attachment to how someone should have treated you. Attachment to the version of yourself you used to be. Attachment to plans that didn't work out. But life rarely matches the pictures we had in our minds. The more tightly we cling to those old pictures, the more we suffer. Letting go means trusting life enough to release the picture so a better one can appear. Some people stay trapped in the same emotional cycle for years simply because they cannot let go of what hurt them. They replay the same story again and again, feeding the pain as if it must stay alive. But your pain does not define you. Your scars do not limit you. Your past does not own you. If you allow it, your past can become your prison. But if you learn from it and release it, your past becomes your greatest teacher. Letting go is a skill, and like any skill, it requires practice. Step 1 is awareness. Noticing what you're holding on to. Sometimes it's a memory, sometimes a person, sometimes a mistake, sometimes fear. Awareness opens the door for change. Step 2 is acceptance. Accepting that the past cannot be changed. No matter how many times you think about it, analyze it, or wish it were different, reality stays the same. Acceptance is not agreement, it is emotional maturity. It means seeing things as they are and choosing peace instead of resistance. Step 3 is release. Deciding consciously to drop the emotional weight. Release can happen through forgiveness, through journaling, through silence, through prayer, through conversation, or simply through choosing not to revisit a wound again. Release means loosening your grip on something that no longer serves your growth. Step 4 is replacing, filling the space with something healthier. When you let go of anger, replace it with compassion. When you let go of fear, replace it with courage. When you let go of regret, replace it with purpose. When you let go of insecurity, replace it with self-respect. Letting go becomes easier when you realize that life always gives back what you release, just in a better form. Let go of people who drain you, and better people arrive. Let go of situations that limit you, and opportunities open. Let go of habits that harm you, and strength grows. Let go of expectations that disappoint you, and contentment increases. Your life expands in the direction of your release. There is a powerful peace in letting go of control. Many people want to control everything: outcomes, relationships, timing, emotions, reactions. But control is often just fear in disguise. Fear of uncertainty, fear of failure, fear of abandonment, fear of being hurt again. The more you try to control life, the more anxious you become. Peace comes when you understand that you cannot control everything, but you can control how you respond. You cannot control people, but you can control your boundaries. You cannot control the past, but you can control the meaning you give it. You cannot control what leaves your life, but you can control what you welcome next. Learning to let go also teaches you self-respect. You stop chasing people who don't value you. You stop forcing relationships that drain your energy. You stop holding on to memories that break you. You stop apologizing for being yourself. You stop trying to convince others of your worth. You realize that anyone who truly belongs in your life will never make you beg for love, attention, or loyalty. Letting go becomes a declaration of self. You are telling the universe, I deserve better. I am ready for better. And better always comes. Not instantly, not magically, but gradually and beautifully. Little by little, the weight lifts. The pain softens. The mind clears. The heart opens, and you begin to breathe again. Letting go also liberates you from the fear of losing. When you know you can let go, you become unstoppable. You no longer cling out of desperation. You no longer fear change. You no longer hold on to people out of insecurity. You no longer stay in situations where you are undervalued. You become lighter, wiser, and stronger. You begin to understand that nothing truly meant for you will ever need to be forced. Nothing aligned with your destiny will ever leave without being replaced by something better. Letting go is not the end, it is the beginning. It is the beginning of clarity, inner peace, emotional maturity, and strength. It is the moment you step out of old energy and open the door to brighter possibilities. Your future depends on your willingness to release your past. Choose to let go. Choose to heal, and choose to rise. The power to free yourself is already within. Use it. Chapter 5. Mastering your emotions before they master you. Your emotions are powerful. They can lift you to greatness or pull you into darkness. They can push you towards success or trap you in fear. They can help you grow or they can destroy your peace. Most people never learn how to manage their emotions. Instead, they allow their emotions to manage them. They react before thinking. They explode under pressure. They get overwhelmed by stress. They let anger make decisions for them. They let sadness shape their identity. They let fear limit their destiny. But emotional mastery is not about suppressing feelings or pretending you are strong. True emotional mastery is about understanding your emotions, accepting them, and directing them instead of being controlled by them. It is about responding instead of reacting. It is about choosing clarity over chaos. It is about using your emotions as tools instead of allowing them to become your chains. Every emotion you feel has a purpose. Anger tells you a boundary has been crossed. Fear alerts you to danger. Sadness signals that something meaningful has been lost. Anxiety points to uncertainty. Even jealousy shows you what you deeply desire. Emotions are not the enemy, they are messages. But when you don't understand the message, the emotion becomes a problem. When you react blindly, you lose control. Emotional mastery begins with awareness, the ability to notice what you are feeling without drowning in it. Instead of saying, I am angry, say, I notice that anger is rising in me. This small shift creates distance between you and the emotion. It reminds you that you are not the emotion. You are the observer. You are not the wave. You are the ocean. Once you become aware, the emotion loses its power to take over your actions. The biggest mistake people make is trying to fight their emotions. They push them down. They distract themselves. They pretend they are okay. But suppressed emotions don't disappear. They grow stronger. They find new ways to express themselves through anxiety, irritation, overthinking, burnout, and emotional breakdowns. What you resist will persist. What you accept will transform. When you allow yourself to feel the emotion fully, without judgment and without panic, it begins to soften. It begins to move. It begins to release. Acceptance does not mean you agree with the emotion. It simply means you allow yourself to be human. Another part of emotional mastery is understanding triggers. A trigger is not the real problem. It is a sign of an old wound that hasn't healed. When someone's words hurt you more than they should, it's because they touched something deeper inside you. When a situation makes you overly stressed, it's because similar moments in the past left a mark. When you overreact, it's because an unhealed part of you is speaking. Emotional triggers are invitations to heal. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What is this emotion trying to teach me?" Every trigger has a root, and when you heal the root, the emotion loses its power. Emotional mastery also means learning how to regulate yourself in difficult moments. Instead of acting on impulse, you learn how to pause. The pause is powerful. The pause saves relationships. The pause prevents regret. The pause gives you time to breathe, think, and choose a better response. When you feel overwhelmed, breathe deeply. Slow breathing signals your mind that you are safe. When your mind feels safe, your emotions calm naturally. When your emotions calm, you gain clarity. And when you gain clarity, you make wiser choices. Another key to mastering your emotions is understanding that you are responsible for your emotional state. Not your boss, not your partner, not your family, not your past, not the situation. You. When you put your emotional state in someone else's hands, you give them control over your peace. You give them the power to decide how you feel. But emotional maturity means accepting that your reactions are your responsibility. People may do things that hurt you, but how long you allow the pain to stay fat is up to you. Life will challenge you, but how you interpret those challenges, that is your choice. Nothing outside you has the power to control your inner world unless you give it permission. To master your emotions, you must also learn to let logic and emotion work together. Emotion gives your life color, energy, passion, and intuition. Logic gives your life structure, clarity, and direction. When you use emotion alone, you make impulsive decisions. When you use logic alone, you miss the richness of experience. True wisdom comes when both work together. Before reacting, ask yourself, what emotion am I feeling right now? Why am I feeling this way? What is the best response I can choose? This simple practice rewires your brain. It trains you to respond with intention instead of reaction. One of the most powerful emotional skills is reframing, changing the meaning you attach to a situation. If someone criticizes you, you can either feel attacked or see it as feedback. If something doesn't go your way, you can either feel defeated or see it as redirection. If a person leaves your life, you can either feel abandoned or see it as protection. The event is the same. The meaning you give it changes everything. Reframing is not lying to yourself. It is choosing a meaning that empowers you instead of one that destroys your peace. Your emotions follow your thoughts. Change the thought, and the emotion changes too. Another pillar of emotional mastery is self-compassion. Many people are harsh on themselves. They judge every mistake. They hate every flaw. They punish themselves for things they could not control. But self-criticism does not make you stronger. It makes you scared of yourself. Self-compassion means speaking to yourself the way you would speak to someone you love. It means understanding that mistakes are part of learning. It means giving yourself permission to grow at your own pace. When you treat yourself with kindness, your emotional storms become easier to navigate. Boundaries also play a major role in emotional stability. When you allow toxic people to drain your energy, your emotions become chaotic. When you say yes to things that break your peace, you become overwhelmed. When you stay in relationships that disrespect you, you become emotionally fragile. Boundaries are not walls, they are doors. You decide what enters and what stays out. Good boundaries protect your peace They teach others how to treat you. They teach you how to value yourself. Mastering your emotions also involves protecting your mental environment. What you consume affects how you feel. Negative news, toxic social media, unhealthy conversations, stressful environments, all these influence your emotions without you realizing it. Just as you choose what food to put in your body, choose what thoughts you put in your mind. Surround yourself with positivity. Spend time with people who uplift you. Consume content that inspires you. Engage in activities that calm your soul. Your mind is a garden, guard it carefully. Finally, emotional mastery is a journey, not a destination. You won't control every emotion, and that's okay. The goal is not perfection, it is progress. The goal is not to avoid emotions, it is to understand them. The goal is not to become emotionless, it is to become emotionally strong. With each step, you become a calmer, wiser, more grounded version of yourself. You stop living in reaction mode. You stop letting your emotions dictate your life. Instead, you rise above them. You guide them. You use them. You become the master of your inner world. Remember this truth. When you master your emotions, you master your life. Chapter 6. Building Mental Strength. Training your mind like a warrior. Mental strength is the invisible force that shapes your entire life. It determines how you handle stress, how you respond to challenges, how you make decisions, how you recover from failure, and how you maintain peace in difficult moments. People often admire strong bodies, but the strongest people are not those with muscles, they are those with resilient minds. A strong mind is calm under pressure. It thinks clearly even when emotions are high. It stays steady when life becomes chaotic. It chooses growth when others choose comfort. It rises again when others give up. Mental strength is not something you are born with. It is something you build every day through habits, choices, and disciplined thinking. It is a lifelong training process, just like strengthening a muscle. The more you train it, the stronger it becomes. Most people assume mental strength means suppressing emotion or pretending to be tough. But real mental strength is the opposite. It is not about silence or coldness. It is about stability. It is about being able to feel your emotions without being destroyed by them. It is about facing reality without running away. It is about staying focused when fear tries to distract you. It is about keeping hope alive when your circumstances try to dim it. Real mental strength is soft on the outside and unbreakable on the inside. One of the first pillars of mental strength is discipline. Discipline is the bridge between your goals and your results. Motivation feels good, but it is inconsistent. Motivation comes and goes like a guest. Discipline is a permanent resident. When you train your mind to do what is necessary, even when you don't feel like it, you build mental toughness. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you send a message to your mind: I am in control. Discipline does not require huge actions. It requires small, consistent choices. Waking up on time, finishing what you start, keeping promises to yourself, doing what is right instead of what is easy. These small victories build confidence, and confidence builds strength. Another pillar of mental strength is the ability to endure discomfort. The human mind naturally avoids anything uncomfortable: stress, fear, uncertainty, pain, difficult conversations, tough decisions. But every time you avoid discomfort, your mind becomes weaker. When you face discomfort, instead of running from it, your mind becomes stronger. Think of discomfort as a gym for your brain. The more you lift emotional weight, the more resilient you become. Growth always happens outside the comfort zone. As long as you stay comfortable, you stay the same. But when you allow yourself to feel discomfort without panicking, you discover your true capacity. Mental strength also grows through controlled thoughts. Your mind is like a river. If you let it flow freely, it will go in random directions. But if you build channels, it flows with purpose. Most of the stress people feel comes not from their situations, but from their thoughts about the situations. The mind exaggerates fear, repeats past pain, imagines worst-case scenarios, and highlights negative outcomes. If you do not control your thoughts, they will control you. You must train your mind to question unhelpful thoughts. When a negative thought arises, ask yourself, is this true? Is this helpful? Is this something I want to believe? You cannot always choose what thoughts appear, but you can choose which ones you feed. A thought only gains power when you give it attention. Another key to mental strength is understanding that life will not always go according to your plan. That's okay. Mental weakness comes from the belief that everything must be perfect, predictable, and comfortable. Mental strength comes from understanding that uncertainty is part of life. Things will change. People will disappoint you. Plans will fail. Circumstances will shift. But your ability to adapt determines your strength. Adaptability is one of the most powerful mental skills you can develop. Instead of breaking under pressure, you bend. Instead of resisting change, you adjust. Instead of panicking, you stay calm. You train your mind to find solutions rather than focusing on problems. Another sign of a mentally strong person is accountability. Weak minds blame others. Strong minds take responsibility. When you blame, you lose power. When you take responsibility, you take control. Even when the situation is not your fault, taking responsibility for your response makes you stronger. You cannot rewrite the past, but you can rewrite your future. Responsibility gives you direction. It gives you clarity. It gives you freedom from victim mentality. Mentally strong people accept where they are, but never accept staying there. To build mental strength, you must also learn the art of detachment. Detachment does not mean you stop caring. It means you stop clinging. You stop depending on things outside yourself for emotional stability. When your peace depends on people, outcomes, approval, or circumstances, you become fragile. Detachment means understanding that everything in life is temporary: success, failure, relationships, feelings, seasons. Detachment brings balance. It allows you to enjoy things without fearing their loss. It allows you to face challenges without breaking. Detachment frees you from emotional extremes and gives you mental space to think clearly. Another crucial element of mental strength is patience. In a world of instant results, patience has become rare. People want fast success, fast healing, fast answers. But the most meaningful things in life take time: growth, clarity, mastery, healing, purpose. Patience does not mean waiting passively. It means trusting the process while actively working toward your goals. When you are patient, you stop rushing. When you stop rushing, you stop stressing. When you stop stressing, you gain clarity. And clarity brings strength. Mentally strong people also understand the importance of boundaries. A strong mind protects its energy. It says no without guilt. It stays away from drama. It avoids toxic environments. It does not allow emotional parasites to drain it. Boundaries are not selfish, they are necessary. Without boundaries, your mind becomes overwhelmed. With boundaries, your mind becomes peaceful. A mentally strong person knows that protecting their peace is more important than pleasing people. Another key to mental strength is learning how to recover. Strength is not about never breaking. It is about knowing how to rebuild yourself when you do. Life will hit you. You will face loss. You will experience failure. You will go through difficult phases, but your ability to bounce back determines your resilience. Mentally strong people do not stay down for long. They rest, they reflect, they heal, and they rise. They understand that setbacks are not permanent. They use pain as fuel. They use challenges as growth. They use obstacles as lessons. Recovery is not a sign of weakness, it is a sign of wisdom. Mental strength also requires a strong sense of purpose. When you have a clear purpose, challenges feel smaller. When you have a reason to wake up, you become unstoppable. Purpose gives your life direction. It guides your decisions. It motivates you when everything else fails. Without purpose, your mind becomes confused and easily shaken. With propósito, my becomes focused and firm. Purpose turns pain into progress. Purpose turns obstacles into opportunities. Purpose turns fear into courage. Finally, mental strength comes from consistent habits. You cannot become mentally strong by accident. You build it by training your mind every day through mindfulness, gratitude, reading, reflection, exercise, silence, journaling, prayer, or any activity that strengthens your inner world. Strong minds are built through repetition. The small things you do daily matter more than the big things you do occasionally. Remember this truth. Your mind can be your greatest enemy or your strongest ally. Train it well, and it will protect you. Neglect it, and it will destroy you. Chapter 7. Protecting your peace. The art of saying no peace is not something you find by accident. It is something you build, protect, and defend. In today's world, where everyone wants your attention, your time, your energy, and your emotional space, protecting your peace has become a survival skill. People often say they want peace, but they also allow noise into their lives. They say they want calmness, yet they let chaos surround them. They want emotional balance, yet they keep absorbing the problems of others. The truth is simple. You cannot have peace if you do not set boundaries. And you cannot set boundaries if you do not learn the art of saying no. Saying no is one of the most powerful emotional skills you will ever learn. It may look small, but it can change your whole life. It can protect your mental health. It can save your time. It can keep you away from drama. It can help you grow. It can stop you from being used. It can prevent burnout. It can guard your emotional energy like a shield. Yet many people struggle to say no because they fear disappointing others, fear being judged, fear being misunderstood, or fear conflict. But saying yes when your heart wants to say no is self-betrayal, and nothing destroys inner peace faster than betraying yourself. Peace is expansive. You must be willing to walk away from people, situations, and habits that disturb it. You must be ready to let go of relationships that drain you. You must avoid conversations that harm you. You must distance yourself from negativity. This may not be easy, especially when you care about people, but caring about others should never mean abandoning yourself. You cannot carry everyone, fix everyone, please everyone, or save everyone. Your peace is not a sacrifice. It is a priority. Learning to say no begins with understanding that your energy is limited. Every morning, you wake up with a certain amount of mental, emotional, and physical energy. How you spend that energy determines the quality of your day. Some people recharge you. Some drain you. Some activities help you grow. Others exhaust you. When you say yes without thinking, you give away your energy to the wrong things. When you say no wisely, you protect your energy for what truly matters. A wise no is better than a forced yes. Another reason people struggle with saying no is the desire to be liked. Many people worry that saying no makes them look selfish, rude, or uncaring. But being liked is not the same as being respected. When you always say yes, people expect it. When you never set boundaries, people take advantage of your kindness. When you prioritize others over yourself, people start seeing you as a resource, not a human being with limits. Respect comes when people know your time and energy have value. When you say no with confidence, you teach people how to treat you. One of the most powerful forms of peace comes from understanding that you are not responsible for everyone else's feelings. You are responsible for how you treat people, not how they react. When you say no with kindness and clarity, you are being honest. If someone reacts negatively, that reaction belongs to them, not you. It is not your job to make everyone happy. It is not your job to manage other people's emotions. You cannot please everyone, and you do not need to. Your job is to protect your peace, your mental health, and your emotional balance. To protect your peace, you must also learn to recognize energy drainers, people who constantly complain, criticize, gossip, or bring negativity into your life. These people may not mean harm, but their presence affects you. Every interaction either adds to your spirit or subtracts from it. You do not need to cut them off completely, but you must limit your access to them. Peace does not require isolation, but it does require wise filtering. Protecting your peace means being selective about who gets access to your mind, your heart, and your time. Another threat to your peace is Many people fill their schedules with obligations, responsibilities, and tasks beyond their capacity. They say yes to everything work demands: social events, emotional labor, favors, family requests. As a result, they feel tired, stressed, overwhelmed, and emotionally drained. Peace disappears when your life becomes a race with no rest. The cure is simple. Stop trying to do everything. Stop trying to be available 24/7. Stop treating yourself like a machine. You deserve rest. You deserve space. You deserve balance. Saying no creates room for that. Protecting your peace also means avoiding unnecessary conflict. Not every argument deserves your response. Not every insult deserves your attention. Not every misunderstanding needs to be fixed. Sometimes silence is the greatest form of self-control. Sometimes walking away is the strongest move. Sometimes choosing peace over proving a point is the real victory. When you are secure within yourself, you no longer feel the need to fight every battle. You choose your battles wisely, and most of them you simply let go. Another aspect of peace protection is emotional boundaries. Emotional boundaries teach you that you are not required to absorb other people's stress, sadness, or problems. You can care without carrying. You can listen without taking responsibility. You can support someone without sacrificing your own well-being. Emotional boundaries mean understanding where you end and where someone else begins. They ensure that you do not drown in someone else's emotional waves. Peace also requires internal boundaries, the limits you place on your own thoughts. Your mind can disturb your peace more than any person. Overthinking, self-criticism, doubt, guilt, and fear can create inner storms. You must learn to tell yourself no when your mind tries to spiral. No to worries that haven't happened. No to past memories that steal your present. No to imaginary scenarios that create anxiety. No to negative self-talk. That lowers your worth. Protecting your peace begins within you. Another step in protecting your peace is simplifying your life. Chaos in your environment creates chaos in your mind. Too much clutter, too many commitments, too many worries, too many distractions all. These disturb your emotional balance. Simplification is not about having less. It is about creating space for what matters. When you clear physical space, you create mental space. When you reduce noise, you increase clarity. When you simplify your commitments, you strengthen your focus. To protect your peace, you must also learn the art of emotional detachment. Detachment does not mean indifference. It means maintaining inner calm, regardless of what happens around you. It means not letting external chaos enter your inner world. It means responding with clarity instead of reacting with emotion. You become the eye of the storm calm, even when everything outside is chaotic. Detachment gives you emotional freedom. It allows you to live life without being shaken by every disturbance. Finally, protecting your peace is a daily practice. It requires consistency. It requires courage. It requires honesty. But with every boundary you set, every no you speak, every toxic habit you drop, every peaceful choice you make, you become stronger. Your life becomes quieter. Your mind becomes clearer. Your emotions become steadier. Your soul becomes lighter. Remember this truth. You do not need permission to protect your peace. Your peace is your power guarded fiercely. Chapter 7. Protecting your peace. The art of saying no peace is not something you find by accident. It is something you build, protect, and defend. In today's world, where everyone wants your attention, your time, your energy, and your emotional space, protecting your peace has become a survival skill. People often say they want peace, but they also allow noise into their lives. They say they want calmness, yet they let chaos surround them. They want emotional balance, yet they keep absorbing the problems of others. The truth is simple. You cannot have peace if you do not set boundaries. And you cannot set boundaries if you do not learn the art of saying no. Saying no is one of the most powerful emotional skills you will ever learn. It may look small, but it can change your whole life. It can protect your mental health. It can save your time. It can keep you away from drama. It can help you grow. It can stop you from being used. It can prevent burnout. It can guard your emotional energy like a shield. Yet many people struggle to say no because they fear disappointing others, fear being judged, fear being misunderstood, or fear conflict. But saying yes when your heart wants to say no is self-betrayal, and nothing destroys inner peace faster than betraying yourself. Peace is expansive. You must be willing to walk away from people, situations, and habits that disturb it. You must be ready to let go of relationships that drain you. You must avoid conversations that harm you. You must distance yourself from negativity. This may not be easy, especially when you care about people, but caring about others should never mean abandoning yourself. You cannot carry everyone, fix everyone, please everyone, or save everyone. Your peace is not a sacrifice. It is a priority. Learning to say no begins with understanding that your energy is limited. Every morning, you wake up with a certain amount of mental, emotional, and physical energy. How you spend that energy determines the quality of your day. Some people recharge you. Some drain you. Some activities help you grow. Others exhaust you. When you say yes without thinking, you give away your energy to the wrong things. When you say no wisely, you protect your energy for what truly matters. A wise no is better than a forced yes. Another reason people struggle with saying no is the desire to be liked. Many people worry that saying no makes them look selfish, rude, or uncaring. But being liked is not the same as being respected. When you always say yes, people expect it. When you never set boundaries, people take advantage of your kindness. When you prioritize others over yourself, people start seeing you as a resource, not a human being with limits. Respect comes when people know your time and energy have value. When you say no with confidence, you teach people how to treat you. One of the most powerful forms of peace comes from understanding that you are not responsible for everyone else's feelings. You are responsible for how you treat people, not how they react. When you say no with kindness and clarity, you are being honest. If someone reacts negatively, that reaction belongs to them, not you. It is not your job to make everyone happy. It is not your job to manage other people's emotions. You cannot please everyone, and you do not need to. Your job is to protect your peace, your mental health, and your emotional balance. To protect your peace, you must also learn to recognize energy drainers, people who constantly complain, criticize, gossip, or bring negativity into your life. These people may not mean harm, but their presence affects you. Every interaction either adds to your spirit or subtracts from it. You do not need to cut them off completely, but you must limit your access to them. Peace does not require isolation, but it does require wise filtering. Protecting your peace means being selective about who gets access to your mind, your heart, and your time. Another threat to your peace is Many people fill their schedules with obligations, responsibilities, and tasks beyond their capacity. They say yes to everything work demands: social events, emotional labor, favors, family requests. As a result, they feel tired, stressed, overwhelmed, and emotionally drained. Peace disappears when your life becomes a race with no rest. The cure is simple. Stop trying to do everything. Stop trying to be available 24/7. Stop treating yourself like a machine. You deserve rest. You deserve space. You deserve balance. Saying no creates room for that. Protecting your peace also means avoiding unnecessary conflict. Not every argument deserves your response. Not every insult deserves your attention. Not every misunderstanding needs to be fixed. Sometimes silence is the greatest form of self-control. Sometimes walking away is the strongest move. Sometimes choosing peace over proving a point is the real victory. When you are secure within yourself, you no longer feel the need to fight every battle. You choose your battles wisely, and most of them you simply let go. Another aspect of peace protection is emotional boundaries. Emotional boundaries teach you that you are not required to absorb other people's stress, sadness, or problems. You can care without carrying. You can listen without taking responsibility. You can support someone without sacrificing your own well-being. Emotional boundaries mean understanding where you end and where someone else begins. They ensure that you do not drown in someone else's emotional waves. Peace also requires internal boundaries, the limits you place on your own thoughts. Your mind can disturb your peace more than any person. Overthinking, self-criticism, doubt, guilt, and fear can create inner storms. You must learn to tell yourself no when your mind tries to spiral. No to worries that haven't happened. No to past memories that steal your present. No to imaginary scenarios that create anxiety. No to negative self-talk. That lowers your worth. Protecting your peace begins within you. Another step in protecting your peace is simplifying your life. Chaos in your environment creates chaos in your mind. Too much clutter, too many commitments, too many worries, too many distractions all. These disturb your emotional balance. Simplification is not about having less. It is about creating space for what matters. When you clear physical space, you create mental space. When you reduce noise, you increase clarity. When you simplify your commitments, you strengthen your focus. To protect your peace, you must also learn the art of emotional detachment. Detachment does not mean indifference. It means maintaining inner calm, regardless of what happens around you. It means not letting external chaos enter your inner world. It means responding with clarity instead of reacting with emotion. You become the eye of the storm calm, even when everything outside is chaotic. Detachment gives you emotional freedom. It allows you to live life without being shaken by every disturbance. Finally, protecting your peace is a daily practice. It requires consistency. It requires courage. It requires honesty. But with every boundary you set, every no you speak, every toxic habit you drop, every peaceful choice you make, you become stronger. Your life becomes quieter. Your mind becomes clearer. Your emotions become steadier. Your soul becomes lighter. Remember this truth. You do not need permission to protect your peace. Your peace is your power. Guard it fiercely. Chapter 9. The strength of mindful presence in a world full of distractions, noise, and constant demands. Presence has become rare. Most people live in the past, ruminating over mistakes, regrets, and memories. Others live in the future, worrying about what might happen, imagining worst-case scenarios, and fearing the unknown. Very few live fully in the present moment, the only place where life actually exists. Mindful presence is the practice of consciously anchoring yourself in the now, noticing your surroundings, your thoughts, your feelings, and your body without judgment. It is a skill, a habit, and a way of life that cultivates calm, clarity, and positivity. The mind is naturally restless. It jumps from one thought to another, creating tension, anxiety, and distraction. It focuses on what has already happened or what might happen, ignoring the reality of this moment. Mindfulness is not about stopping thoughts. It is about observing them without letting them control you. When you are present, you watch your thoughts and feelings like a spectator instead of being pulled into their chaos. You learn to respond rather than react. You gain a mental space where peace and clarity naturally reside. One of the greatest benefits of mindful presence is stress reduction. Most stress comes not from current circumstances, but from mental projections of the past or future. Worrying about a problem that hasn't happened, regretting a mistake from yesterday, or anticipating a negative outcome tomorrow. All these create tension. Mindfulness pulls your attention to the now, where your mind realizes there is nothing threatening in the present moment. Your body relaxes. Your heart rate slows. Your breathing steadies. Your mind clears. This simple shift has profound effects on your overall calmness and positivity. Presence also enhances focus. When your attention is scattered, productivity suffers. Decisions become clouded, and emotions run wild. Mindfulness trains your brain to concentrate on what matters in this moment. Whether it's a conversation, a task, or a decision, being fully present improves quality, efficiency, and outcomes. Focused attention allows you to respond thoughtfully instead of reacting impulsively, giving you a sense of control over life that builds confidence and reduces anxiety. Mindfulness also deepens self. By observing your thoughts and emotions without judgment, you begin to understand patterns, triggers, and habits that previously ran unconsciously. You notice when anger rises, when fear spreads, or when sadness lingers. Awareness is the first step to mastery. Once you recognize patterns, you can intervene. You can pause. You can choose. You can redirect your mind instead of being carried away by unconscious reactions. This self-awareness is the foundation of emotional control, calmness, and lasting positivity. Presence strengthens relationships as well. Most people are physically present with others, but mentally elsewhere, thinking about work, scrolling on phones, planning the future. When you bring mindful attention to conversations and interactions, you become fully available. You listen without distraction. You respond without judgment. You connect authentically. People notice the difference. Relationships grow stronger. Misunderstandings reduce. Conflicts dissolve. Being present transforms not just your mind, but your social world. Another aspect of mindful presence is gratitude for ordinary moments. When you slow down and observe, you notice details that usually pass unnoticed. The texture of a leaf, the warmth of sunlight, the rhythm of your breath, the flavor of a meal, the tone of someone's laughter. Mindfulness amplifies awareness, and awareness amplifies appreciation. You begin to see that life is not waiting for big events to feel joy. Happiness exists in these small, often overlooked moments, and presence allows you to experience it fully. Presence also improves resilience. Life is unpredictable, full of challenges, setbacks, and unexpected changes. People who are constantly distracted by worry or regret become easily overwhelmed. Those who cultivate mindful awareness face challenges with clarity. They observe the problem without judgment, assess options without panic, and respond with intention instead of emotion. Presence does not eliminate difficulties, but it equips you with the mental space to handle them wisely and calmly. It makes you strong without forcing you to be rigid, flexible without losing your core stability. Another benefit of mindful presence is reducing Most of your mental energy is wasted on hypothetical scenarios, repetitive thoughts, and imagined catastrophes. Mindfulness breaks this cycle by anchoring attention in what is real, immediate, and actionable. It teaches the mind to let go of unhelpful thoughts and return to reality. Over time, this practice rewires the brain to focus on what matters, reducing unnecessary mental chatter, anxiety, and emotional fatigue. Presence also enhances your ability to enjoy life. When your mind is elsewhere, lost in regret or worry, you miss the richness of each experience. Mindfulness allows you to savor moments fully. Eating a meal, walking outside, talking to a friend, even working on a project, everything becomes more vivid, more meaningful, more fulfilling. Life is no longer a blur of passing moments, but a series of conscious experiences. This shift in perception naturally boosts positivity and joy. Developing presence requires practice. Start small. Take a few minutes each day to focus on your breath, observe your surroundings, or pay attention to your senses. Slowly extend this awareness to daily activities: washing dishes, walking, driving, eating. Notice details. Without judgment, when your mind wanders, gently bring it back to the present. Meditation is a powerful tool to cultivate presence, but presence is not limited to meditation. Every moment can be an opportunity to practice mindfulness. Presence also means accepting what is happening right now without resistance. You do not need to force change or control outcomes to be at peace. Resistance creates tension. Acceptance creates calm. Acceptance is not surrender. It is alignment. It allows you to act wisely, make clear decisions, and navigate life's challenges without unnecessary emotional turmoil. By combining acceptance with presence, you experience both serenity and strength simultaneously. Finally, mindful presence transforms your inner world. You become more patient, more calm, more compassionate, and more resilient. You no longer chase life or let it chase you. You respond intentionally rather than react impulsively. You see challenges as opportunities, ordinary moments as blessings, and people as worthy of understanding. Presence is not just a practice. It is a way of life that allows calmness and positivity to become your default state, no matter what external chaos surrounds you. Remember this truth: the present moment is the only place where life exists. When you live fully in it, you become unstoppable, unshakable, and unbreakable. Chapter 10. Conclusion. Living a calm, positive, and purposeful life. As we reach the final chapter, it is time to step back and reflect on the journey we've undertaken together. You have explored the art of calmness, the science of positivity, the wisdom of letting go, the power of emotional mastery, the discipline of mental strength, the protection of your peace, the transformative nature of gratitude, and the profound benefits of mindful presence. Each chapter has offered tools, insights, and practices that, when applied consistently, have the power to transform your inner world and, ultimately, your life. But knowledge alone is not enough. Understanding these principles is only the first step. Living them daily is where transformation occurs. The first lesson is that calmness is a choice. Life will never be entirely predictable or free from challenges. Storms will come. Setbacks will appear, and people will disappoint. You cannot control all external events, but you can control your responses. Calmness begins with the decision to remain steady, no matter what surrounds you. By practicing awareness, pausing before reacting, and focusing on what is within your control, you reclaim power over your emotions. Calmness is not a passive state. It is an active, conscious commitment to your inner peace, regardless of life's turbulence. Positivity is the natural companion of calmness. When your mind is calm, it becomes easier to see possibilities instead of obstacles, opportunities instead of limitations, and growth instead of defeat. Positivity does not mean ignoring difficulties or pretending life is perfect. It means choosing to focus on what empowers you, strengthens you, and moves you forward. Positive thinking is a muscle that grows stronger with consistent practice through gratitude, reframing challenges, and cultivating hope. A positive mind does not eliminate pain, but it transforms your experience of pain, giving you resilience and courage to keep moving forward. Letting go is another cornerstone of a life filled with calm and positivity. Holding on to grudges, regrets, disappointments, and fears weighs heavily on your mind and heart. When you learn to release what no longer serves you, whether it is a person, a memory, a failure, or an expectation, free yourself from unnecessary suffering. Letting go is not a one-time act. It is a daily practice of choosing peace over resentment, growth over stagnation, and self-love over suffering. The more you let go, the lighter you feel, the clearer your mind becomes, and the more space you create for positivity and opportunity. Emotional mastery is essential to maintain this state. Life will always present situations that provoke anger, fear, sadness, or anxiety. Mastering your emotions means recognizing them, understanding their purpose, and responding consciously rather than reacting impulsively. Awareness, reflection, and intentional action allow you to harness emotions as tools for growth rather than letting them control you. Emotional mastery strengthens your relationships, reduces conflict, and enhances your ability to navigate life with composure and clarity. By mastering your emotions, you protect your peace and sustain positivity even under pressure. Mental strength, cultivated through discipline, patience, resilience, and adaptability, ensures that calmness and positivity are not temporary states, but permanent traits. A strong mind is not untouched by challenges. It is trained to endure them, learn from them, and grow through them. Mental strength allows you to face setbacks without breaking, to continue striving when motivation falters, and to remain focused when distractions and pressures multiply. It transforms obstacles into stepping stones, adversity into opportunity, and life's unpredictability into a field of learning and growth. Protecting your peace is equally important. Peace is not found in the absence of problems. It is cultivated through boundaries, intentional choices, and wise energy management. Learning to say no to things that drain your mental, emotional, or physical energy is not selfish. It is necessary. Your time, energy, and attention are limited, and how you allocate them determines the quality of your life. By establishing boundaries, limiting exposure to negativity, and prioritizing your well-being, you create an environment where calmness and positivity can thrive. Protecting your peace is a daily commitment that requires courage, self-awareness, and Gratitude amplifies every positive change in your life. By focusing on what is already good, abundant, and meaningful, gratitude shifts your mind from scarcity to abundance, from fear to hope, and from frustration to appreciation. Daily gratitude transforms ordinary moments into blessings and ordinary people into teachers. It rewires your brain to see opportunity in adversity and lessons in challenges. Practicing gratitude is not merely a ritual, it is a lifestyle that strengthens resilience, deepens happiness, and nurtures calmness and positivity from within. Mindful presence, the practice of living fully in the now, ties all these principles together. The present moment is the only place where life truly exists. Regret belongs to the past. Anxiety belongs to the future. Mindful awareness allows you to engage with life fully, appreciating each experience, responding thoughtfully, and acting with intention. It reduces stress, enhances focus, deepens relationships, and fosters inner peace. Presence is not a technique to escape life, but a lens to experience it more vividly, more consciously, and more joyfully. It enables you to live each day with clarity, calmness, and positivity. Regardless of circumstances, the journey to calmness and positivity is ongoing. There will be days when you falter, when negative thoughts creep in, when stress overwhelms, or when circumstances test your limits. That is normal. Transformation is not perfection, it is persistence. Every small act of self-awareness, every conscious choice to pause, every moment of gratitude, every boundary you set, and every step of mindful presence strengthens your mind, heart, and spirit. Over time, these consistent practices accumulate, creating a life that is resilient, joyful, and centered, no matter the storms that come your way. As you close this book, remember that calmness and positivity are not privileges reserved for a few. They are available to anyone willing to commit to the work. It begins with awareness, continues with practice, and flourishes through consistency. It is a choice you make daily, a habit you cultivate, and a mindset you reinforce. Life will challenge you, test you, and push you toward old patterns, but every time you choose peace over chaos, gratitude over complaint, growth over stagnation, and presence over distraction, you strengthen the foundation of your calm, positive life. You have within you the power to change the way you experience life. You have the ability to master your mind, manage your emotions, protect your energy, and cultivate gratitude. You have the strength to let go of what no longer serves you, and the wisdom to remain fully present. Every thought, every action, every choice matters. You can live a life defined not by stress, fear, or negativity, but by calmness, clarity, positivity, and purpose. So start today. Begin in this moment. Make the conscious choice to protect your peace, embrace gratitude, master your emotions, strengthen your mind, and live fully in the present. Life will never be perfect, but your inner world can be. And when your inner world is calm and positive, every challenge becomes manageable, every setback becomes a lesson, and every day becomes an opportunity to live fully, deeply, and joyfully. Remember this truth: calmness is power, positivity is freedom, and the life you desire begins the moment you choose to create it from within.